Hello and welcome to Boucher for this very special game today. As much to their anticipation, the Eagles get to renew their long-standing rivalry with the Farmington Beavers. Hi everybody, I'm Philip Robarge, and joining me in the press box today is Owen Snow and Gabe Shaw. Gentlemen, this is one of those games that gets circled on the calendar at the start of the season. Two teams that are looking for something to prove. The Beavers looking for their first win at Boucher since 2018. They're also looking to snap an 8-game losing streak against the Eagles. However, the Eagles are not only looking to extend their unbeaten run to a 9th game, they're also looking to extend their unbeaten run in the conference this season to a 6th game here. Owen, let's turn to you first. The Eagles in this one will have their hands full trying to stop the likes of Mackenzie Rushlow, Emma Dunn, Grace Dwyer, and most notably the senior captain, Natalie Tracy, who is closing in on 20 goals for this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Natalie Tracy not starting this one, but like you said, she's got 16 goals and only 11 games played. That is quite the impressive season. She's a 2-time NAC Player of the Week already. Got the second-team All-Conference favors in 2024. And so the likes of Natalie Tracy, and then you got Emma Dunn, who is a very good, versatile player who can play both forward and defense. And has started 12 out of 13 games, has 5 goals and 1 assist. And Grace Dwyer, another senior defender who's a 2-time second-team All-Conference NAC winner, 13 games started, 14 games played, 6 goals as a defender. That's pretty good, Philip. Husson does have their hands on them, but they can definitely hold UMaine Farmington off, especially with the likes of Kaylee Null, who's a 2-time NAC Defensive Player of the Year.
Jackie Pangburn getting the start today over Addie Lasley. She did well in her last game and looking to follow it up again here. Owen, what's she going to have to do today?
Yeah, I think she's going to do a good job at, just trying to press up the Farmington defenders, as she has great scoring ability, 9 goals already on the season, won the NAC Player of the Week this past week, and she's just a great player, only a freshman too, which is quite impressive.
And Gabe, now we look to the goalies here. Weigler getting the start in net for the Eagles. Paige Gagne getting the start for the Beavers. What can you tell us about him?
Weigler has been, she's been here the longest for Husson, and she's had a solid season so far. So going with your trusty senior, in net for Husson is always the safest option. And for Farmington, Gagne has had a great season too, with 14 games played, 22 goals allowed, and she's faced a lot of shots as well. So it's going to be a close matchup between them, and I think it's going to be a low-scoring game because both goalies have some good experience, and they're both seniors, so they both have faced these teams before. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens today, but I think it's going to be definitely a goalie-led game today.
And when we come back, we'll have starting lineups for you, followed by our national anthem. It's homecoming weekend here at Boucher Field here at Husson. All the teams playing at home today. And we've got a doubleheader for you that you're sure to enjoy. I'm Philip Robarge, Owen Snow, Gabe Shaw. We will see you from the Husson Eagles Sports Network after this.
Introducing the starters for the visiting Beavers. In goal, a senior number 0, Paige Ganya. A freshman defender number 3, Allison Casamon. A junior defender number 4, Emma Casamon. A freshman defender number 5, Mackenzie Field. A senior defender number 6, Kylie Meter. A junior forward number 8, Emma Dunn. A freshman midfielder number 14, Kyrie Meat. A senior midfielder number 15, Hannah Wilbur. A junior midfielder number 17, Rita Benoit. A freshman midfielder number 18, Maya Kaufman. And a senior defender number 21, Grace Dwyer. Farmington is under the direction of Molly Wilkie. And now, introducing your Husson University Eagles. In goal, a senior from Manchester, New Hampshire, number 1, Madison Weigler. A sophomore from Sanford, Maine, number 3, Haley Tarbach. A freshman from Eddington, Maine, number 11, Jackie Pangburn. A senior from Holden, Maine, number 13, Devin St. Louis. A senior from Guatemala City, Guatemala, number 14, Marilla Corletto. A senior from Kingston, Massachusetts, number 17, Kendra Donahue. A freshman from Newmarket, New Hampshire, number 20, Jillian Long. A senior from Deerfield, New Hampshire, number 23, Kaylee Knoll. A freshman from Tinley Park, Illinois, number 28, Taya Gerson. A sophomore from Las Vegas, Nevada, number 29, Paige Dunn. And a junior from Petoskey, Michigan, number 33, Emma Nicholson. The Eagles are coached by Dennis Mullins, and he's assisted by Nick Christensen, Matt Goodman, Chris Selby, and Megan Buddymeyer. Fans, at this time we ask that you please rise and honor America with the playing of the national anthem.
All the festivities going around as homecoming is well and truly underway. Thank you for joining us here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. I'm Philip Robarge, joined alongside Owen Snow and Gabe Shaw as we get set for this first of 2 games for the Eagles as they host UMaine Farmington.
One thing I want to mention, Philip, before this game starts, the last time these two teams played each other was last year in the first round of the NAC tournament. Husson won that one 8-0. And so Husson, let's see if they can build off that momentum into today's contest. I know it's been a long time since then, but this Husson team looks very strong. They have a great record, both in the conference and out of conference. So does Farmington, though, so maybe closer than everyone thinks.
We'll have to see, again, of course, just how other results go for Farmington. Currently not sitting quite where they want to be in the NAC. But a win here today and results elsewhere might really shift the tide for them as we close in on the end of this season here for the Eagles. Again, just they're looking for what would be an undefeated conference game at home this season, as immediately we see the kickoff go long and run all the way to the senior Madison Weigler, who will take it with her feet, and Husson play out from the back. Nicholson. Griffin on the wing out there, somebody who can provide a lot of goal threat.
Yeah, Taya Griffin with 6 assists already on the season. Very aggressive winger that can definitely get those crosses over to the likes of Tarbox and Lasley.
Donahue looking for a ball in that time. Not able to find Jillian Long on the wing. Donahue getting her first start in quite some time. And the boot by Gagne. Gagne, somebody who is just seems to be getting better and better every single season. She's cut her goals against by almost half, as she gave up 43 last season. This season, though, only 22. Allison working down the wing. The ball is in, and that's headed away that time by Allison Casavant. Danger still troubling the Eagles. Gerfin having to pass it back. It's Nicholson. Nicholson having scored last time out against Plymouth. Marla Corletto. Back to Nicholson. Nicholson gives it away that time. Right to Kiri Meek, who can run. Two-time NAC Rookie of the Week. Able to win her team a throw in there.
She was well defended, however, by the 2-time NAC Defensive Player of the Year, Kaylee Nault, able to get the tackle, able to poke that one out of bounds.
All the way through. And dealing with the danger is Donahue. Long trying to find Devin St. Louis. Is kicked by Benoit. Ball through Long, chasing it, as is Emma Casavant. That one will go out of play. Be an Eagles throw, or a Farmington throw. Throw into the box, trying to find the foot of Paige Dunn, but they'll do it again. That will deflect off Casavant. It'll go out for a corner. Now early.
This is a really good opportunity for the Eagles. They get a penalty. They get a corner kick. They are really good with those corners. Philip.
See what they can do with this one. It's swung in by Dunn, and that one destined for Gagne. Oh, big ball over the top by Wilbur. Tracking it down as Coffin, who just runs out of space there. Great defending by the Eagles, and it will be a goal kick.
Again, Kaylee Null able to prevent any sort of real threat from the Beavers, and that's why she is such a good player in her senior season. Shows great leadership out there.
Weigler will boot it away with the sun in her face. Of course, this 11 o'clock kickoff, much earlier than we're used to. Battling for it with Casavant. Here is Devin St. Louis charging down the wing. Looking for a way inside. Finds Long. Trying to play it across that time. Looking for the run of Paige Dunn. Unable to find her.
We've seen Husson be able to control the ball pretty well in their offensive zone. They're making great passes and they're moving the ball around to where Farmington has to sort of move, and Husson trying to get them out of position.
Yeah, you have to love this early pressure from the Husson offense in the first couple minutes of this game.
They do tend to set the tone here in Boucher. They love to have the possession. They love to keep it. That's something that they struggled to do for a little while against the Plymouth game in their last one. But just as Owen said, finding it a lot easier to just play those passes inside, play the short ball. Nicholson goes long. Evan St. Louis tracking it down. Getting to it first is Casavant. She'll run out of play. Husson will win a throw-in.
It was a great pursuit by Devin St. Louis. Force a throw-in.
Here's Pangburn with her first touch. Swung in by Long. And on the volley was done. And it looked to be headed away by the Beavers there. Asking one or two questions of Gagne, but it goes wide. And Husson now a chance on the corner.
If Dunn was able to cleanly kick that one, that would have been a dangerous shot on goal.
Could have easily found the back of the net. Danger not done yet for the Eagles. Ball swung in. And that one just not able to find the head of Devin St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis and Nicholson were both in the vicinity of that kick. Fortunately, it goes over both their heads, and Farmington can.
Eagles back-to-back chances from the corners. Hit on by Wilbur. Only as far as the Husson players. There's Tarbox playing a great through ball into Long. She can catch up to it. She's in, but she just can't. That's a great chance there for the Eagles. What looked to be a very clean through ball, just unable to get on the end of that was Long.
Yeah, freshman Jillian Long. This is her second start of the season, and only being a freshman, getting the start on a homecoming that's a good thing to see, especially out of such a young player.
It speaks tones of confidence from Dennis Mullins. There's a great tackle there by Nicholson, something that she's beginning to trademark from her performances. This one will go all the way back to Weigler. Jillian Long just trying to touch it forward, but it goes out of play. Throw in by. That one will be regained by the Eagles, who look to get it out of their zone. Donahue playing it long. Casavant trying to find Meter, but it's taken away by Gerfin. Gerfin putting a ball on the ground that will be straight at Gagne. Just too close to her as she looked for Devin St. Louis there. Possession will go back to the Eagles. So we see quite a lot of people in attendance for this game.
Absolutely, Philip. It's homecoming weekend. We're at John Boucher Field. The John Boucher is in attendance today, and this is one of the biggest weekends of the whole year. Again, we are the first game today at 11 o'clock. Football's at 12, and then we got the men's soccer at 1 o'clock. To go along with a 6 o'clock field hockey game tonight as well.
Jillian Long able to settle that one down and whip in a ball, just cleared that time from Beal.
Yeah, she was trying to find Jackie Pangburn wide open in the slot. Great defense there, though, by the Beavers.
Throw in. And that one will be a foul against the Eagles there. Mentioned this incredible run that the Eagles are on of 8 straight games, but they're actually behind in the series. 24 wins, 37 losses in a fixture that goes all the way back to 1989. Running up with it now is Emma Dunn. Playing the through ball there to Meek. Meek trying to play one in, but it's a great slide tackle by Nault. And able to get rid of it. Working hard that time was Nault. Farmington with their first chance from the corner. First chance to really spring some offense into this game for them. Ball's in and out by Tarbox. Running onto it is Devin St. Louis now. Trying to start a break. She's got Pangburn to her left. She'll take it. Trying to get by Casavant. She'll play Long. Long putting a ball in, but that one just too close to Gagne in the end.
And again, we see the speed from Devin St. Louis on the right wing, as she was just able to find the advantage. And would have been a dangerous opportunity for the Eagles if Long was able to find that shot.
Nault able to clear it long for the Eagles. That one will run all the way out, and it'll be a goal kick. We'll run all the way through Gagne. Husson are first to it here. Nault running on. She'll clear it away. Eagles just last 10 minutes or so really having a good sustained bit of possession for them, but they've had to be strong on defense so far.
Yes, they have, Philip. Whenever you think that Farmington has a chance, you've seen Kyrie Meek and Emma Dunn. Husson's been able to shut it down.
Lagerler will find Dunn. Dunn for Long. Eagles trying to go through the middle that time. Dunn looking to switch the play. Nicholson coming up forward for the attack here. Now it's Gerfen over to Tarbox. Being held up, but able to find Dunn. Dunn to find Marilla Corletto. Husson really trying to be patient in their attack. It's Donahue from distance, and Gagne's got that one covered all the way.
Great power on that ball from the senior captain, Kendra Donahue, but Gagne was NAC first team all-conference last year for a reason. She was able to track that one very easily.
I mentioned just the incredible power of this team. Goals by Natalie Tracy, who's their top goal scorer with 16, followed by Meek with 7, and Grace Dwyer with 6. This one will run. And it will be Dunn trying to drive in and cleared away. That one could have been dangerous for the Eagles. Goes all the way to Meter, who puts a ball in. And the offside flag will come up to end the attack. Emma Dunn was in.
Again, who else but Kaylee Nault doing a great job at maintaining inside leverage on Emma Dunn. She said, no, you're not getting through.
Well, that attack actually started from a mistake by Nault, but again, just able to recover there. It's something that she's been so strong at.
A great defensive specialist she is.
Paige Dunn. Here's Long with the throw-in. Pangburn taking a touch and laying off to Devin St. Louis. Dunn pushing out wide, trying to play one in the box. That one will be blocked. And we will see a corner.
Be the third corner of the game for the Eagles, and see if they can capitalize.
15 minutes have elapsed in this first half. The ball comes in and it's headed to Nicholson, and it was touched on by one of the Eagles in there and over in the end. We'll see another corner as that one went off a Farmington player. A good initial powerful header by Nicholson.
Gives the Eagles 2 shots on goal so far, while Farmington still has none.
Dunn puts the ball in, and that one was, I believe it was Pangburn up there heading it, but it's headed straight to Gagne.
And Gagne again doing a great job at tracking the ball. That one, it's really hard from that close to read where the ball's going. Gagne is able to do it.
Griffin holding up possession. She'll clear it. As Farmington look to mount an attack here and open the scoring. Eagles now will get the throw.
So Philip, actually that header shot that Gagne saved was actually headed by Kaylee Nault. And with Nault, she only has 1 goal on the season, but you know, she's able to find offense where she can.
Thank you for the correction, Owen.
Live stats is a beautiful thing, Philip.
Puts a lot more emphasis on the job at hand to get it right. Farmington with a throw here. And we mentioned just the prolificency of Natalie Tracy for Farmington, but how about Jackie Pangburn for the Eagles? Closing in on 10 goals here already on her season as a freshman. Of course, she came in with just an incredible record, and it's been said many times, but again, she's just somebody for the Eagles who really knows how to put the ball in the back of the net, much so that she'd be favored to Addie Lasley.
She was a great recruit coming out of John Babbs right here in Bangor. Had 15 goals and 7 assists in her senior season, which gave her the conference first team in her high school conference. And Dennis Mullins looked to recruit her, and she's been putting on the stellar season. Didn't even start at first. Came off the bench as a role player, but now she's really blossomed into this star attacker for the Eagles.
Nicholson on the give and go. Had a great move to get around Coffin, but in the end, the attack breaks down. Again, just a tremendous recruiting job by Dennis Mullins and his team to find players. As this one goes all the way to Weigler, having to replace those 12 big names. Never going to be easy. But Dennis Mullins has just found the right crew. He'll feel undefeated in NAC play. So the offside flag will come up.
Yeah, some notable players that Husson lost, including the likes of Kate Harriman, who had 23 goals in her senior season, and then Aviola, who played a center attack and midfielder role pretty much in her senior season with 11 goals and 16 assists, third all-time goal scorer for Husson. So those are some big players to lose, but again, Dennis Mullins doing a great job at recruiting.
Of course, regaining Megan Buddymeyer as a coach always helps too, to have that voice in there, the voice of reason.
Absolutely, senior captain last year for the Eagles.
Here's Long looking to play one in, and that one will be off the foot of Mackenzie Beal. But they'll say, I believe they'll say she was offside. And Gagne to boot it long. Eagles are so good at just capitalizing on these goal kicks. They tend to regain possession, as they have done here. Here's Dunn. Here's St. Louis. Trying to switch the play, looking for Long.
There was a substitution, Philip. Riley Speed came in for Jillian Long a couple seconds ago. Riley Speed, a player that usually starts for this Eagles team, coming off the bench in this one, however.
Here's Speed now, as Owen mentioned. Sometimes you miss a thing or two. It's just so easy to just continue to say the name as the ball goes out, but it is Riley Speed, as Owen mentioned, now coming into the game for the Eagles. Somebody who is just able to provide a lot of threat offensively, as well as cover defensively, and a couple of those balls to Emma Dunn were pretty dangerous. So Dennis Mullins looking for just a change to try and ensure that she doesn't have as much space when she does get in possession. Unpushed off the ball. Here's Speed. Tarbox there impeded by Benoit. Leto. Here's Speed. Has time playing Dunn. Dunn with a shot on her left foot, and that one will, again, just settle for Gagne.
I think Paige Dunn was trying to throw Paige Gagne off, trying to say, well, I'm looking to pass, but I'm actually going to shoot this one with my weak foot.
Well, she had just miles of space. Why not just take that one on?
Absolutely. Any shot's better than no shot.
Donahue. That one will go out of play. Another substitution for the Eagles. Jackie Pangburn will come off, and on will come Addie Lasley.
Lasley, again, putting up quite the pretty good season. 8 goals in 14 games to go along with 4 assists, and was a co-player of the week all the way back in early September.
And the tandem between St. Louis and Lasley just so crucial for the Eagles in setting up and putting away goals. The foul will go in favor of the Eagles. The foul on Speed. No, to take it, somebody is very skilled in putting a ball in. Seen quite a few goals come from this area. Now looking to put the first here with 21 minutes left in this first half. Here's Nault putting the ball in, and that one, again, just not able to get a clean header on. It's a good ball in the end, but in the end it's found Goya. Gagne. Donahue playing one to St. Louis. Lewis looking for an option. She's forced to go back to Donahue. Here's Haley Tarbox. Nicholson. Over to Gerfin. Thea Gerfin. Playing Lasley as substitute. Lasley trying to switch the play there for Speed, who can't quite catch up to it. Speed seeing a lot of action since she's come on for Jillian Long. Husson have played a lot to her side. Still yet to find a goal. So we move to under 20 minutes left in this first half.
This first half has felt it's gone by pretty fast, Philip. We haven't seen a lot of stoppages yet, besides the 5 corners and a couple free kicks here and there. However, this has been all game.
Here's Speed to win it back for the Eagles. Donahue looking for an option. She'll play in. Addie Lasley looks to flick it on to Gerfin. And it's done. It's up, and it's in by Devin St. Louis. Off of Paige Gagne. The Eagles find the breakthrough here.
And the original shot by Paige Dunn. Gagne was trying to make the original save on it. She could not corral it. And Devin St. Louis there to pick up the rebound. And Husson is up 1-0. Philip, that was just a great play all around. Probably not how Gagne wanted that to happen, of course, but St. Louis, right place, right time.
And finally, after all those opportunities for Husson, they finally find the net. And you got to love how Husson is playing aggressive here in this game so far. And because it feels like every time Farmington gets possession of the ball in the attacking zone, they have an offside or they have a turnover. It's just Husson's just had opportunity after opportunity, and finally they find the net.
And now, as for Farmington, they're behind here, Gabe. I mean, what do you try and switch up tactically? What do you try and change to get yourself back into this game? Do you need to change anything?
I mean, yeah, I feel like you got to play more aggressively, right? Husson's had the ball majority of the game, possession, and as they're going to keep possessing it because they're not going to take the foot off.
Great ball into Speed, and Riley Speed went for the far post and put it wide.
Riley Speed showing off the sweet dribble moves, getting past one defender, almost getting past two. Have a great defensive recovery there by the Beavers of that defensive line.
A couple of substitutions for the Eagles. On comes Olivia Charles and Laura Martell. Paige Dunn and Haley Tarbox.
Two great role players for this Eagles team. Olivia Charles has only played 3 games, but she was injured for a majority of the first half of the season, only returned on October 4th. And now she's been able to play fully healthy towards this latter half of the year.
Madison Higgins there on the ball a couple of moments ago. She's also entered the game for Kendra Donahue, Husson's normal starter.
And so I think that since Husson's gone up 1-0, they're able to use a lot more substitutes, keep everyone fresh.
Now, ball by St. Louis to Speed. St. Louis will take it first time. That one's over. Nice idea. Just didn't pay off for her as she would have wanted.
You want to know a funny stat, Philip? Husson has 9 shots. Farmington has 0. Husson has been able to dominate the game offensively all day so far. Farmington, with the slim chances they have had, haven't led to any shots, thanks to the elite Husson defense.
Defense just lauded for just their willingness to win back the ball and to never give in. They've certainly contributed to a lot of Eagles wins.
Both teams staying disciplined, however. Each team only has one foul, no cards yet. And so I think that's just because both teams are, especially Farmington, are just playing a little bit too conservative. And I think they should, like what Gabe was saying earlier, they should switch up the game plan, try to play more aggressive and step up on Husson.
One back by Carletto only momentarily. It'll go back to the Beavers here. Emma Dunn playing Emma Casavant. One back by Charles. Here's Leslie trying to find St. Louis. The ball's long. St. Louis able to recover it.
It was a great save by St. Louis. Wicked good speed out there on the right wing.
Speed now playing Charles, who can put a ball in on the head of, I believe that was Addie Lasley, putting it wide.
Add another shot to this game for Husson. Again, the more shots you take, the higher percentage chance you score. Again, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Wayne Gretzky said it best. We do have a substitution for the Beavers. Allison Casavant coming on is Peyton Gagne. As the Beavers look to do exactly what Owen and Gabe said and just sort of switch up that game plan.
And back to your point, Owen, you know, going back to what we said at the beginning of the game, Gagne has faced so many shots this year already, and it's showing in the early goings of this game.
Big ball forward. Peyton Gagne on it. That one to run through to Weigler.
And again, it's a pretty new season for this Farmington Beavers team. I want to mention out they lost 4 key seniors on the team, as the likes of Grace Mahmood and Abby Lash, both great seniors, no longer with the team as they graduated.
And the boot by Weigler to clear the damage, but only as far as Meek. And battling in there is Corletto. Cleared away by Nault, but again, Farmington able to capitalize with Coffin. They'll win a throw-in now. Be Rita Benoit to take. That one will be cleared away. Olivia Charles coming out to disrupt that passage of play for the Beavers. Beavers looking to just root themselves into Husson's attack and try and find an equalizer here. The ball in. It's a dangerous one, but it'll find Madison Weigler, who rolls it out to Speed.
Their first shot of the day. And
now here's Dunn. Covering 2 Eagles, covering both Speed and Higgins. It'll go out of play. Substitution for the Eagles. As Lindsay Reed will come on for Maria Corletto.
Corletto getting the start and nod today. Did a great job playing that kind of center defensive midfielder role. And Reed will take her place, as she's an also really good defensive midfielder as well.
In the air, battling for it is Charles. Find Addie Lasley, who's unable to control it. Nault first to it for the Eagles. Should play it to the safety of her goalkeeper. Here's Martell. A tough ball for St. Louis to control and go out of play. Wilbur looking for Dunn. Higgins trying to hold up possession. Martell with a good touch. Now Martell trying to play through Lasley. St. Louis. Husson, just both teams really unable to maintain possession.
Yeah, give credit, though, to the Beavers, as they've had some more possession in the last 5 minutes than they have all games, where they got their first shot of the game. So, or first dangerous threat, I should say.
Wilbur to throw in for the Beavers. Looking for Dunn. Said her name a lot this half. She's been crucial to a lot of the Beavers' offense. Now a through ball this time by Meek. Cleared away by Gerfen. He's played the entirety of this half so far. Now ball over the top, but an offside flag coming up again. I believe a couple of weeks ago we saw 17 of these or something crazy like that against Colby in the NESCOM game.
That was you and Jake on that call. And yeah, offsides, from my experience of calling soccer games, either happen a lot of times or they happen never.
And that's, of course, Husson playing that style of play that tries to entice the opposition to go forward and get them in a position where they can just have all of their defenders stop at the same time, and as the attackers run onto it, you're going to be in an offside position 10 out of 10 times. Husson just are drilled so well in that. Their defenses really communicate well, no matter who the pairing is out there, who the three are. Here's St. Louis now driving forward. Play it short, looking for Charles. This one cleared away only as far as Higgins. Tries to find St. Louis, but the touch away by Casavant. And Riley Speed trying to take it quickly, but won't let her, as Ella Hosford will come in to the game for Devon St. Louis. Hosford, somebody who can come in and get a goal. She's got 2 so far this season, 2 assists for her as well.
It was unfortunate. She missed the whole 2024 season due to an injury. But back here this year,
Ball
playing
in,
very well.
right to Hosford, who's unable to get a clean shot away. Husson still controlling it with Higgins. Here's Speed, putting a ball in, and that one in the end will fly over the crossbar. 8 minutes left in the first half. This first half has just flown by. The Eagles getting the only goal of the game. Deflection off of Gagne. Found the head of Devon St. Louis, who just found the back of the net. That remains the only thing separating these two teams.
I wouldn't be surprised, though, after halftime if the possession was 70-30 in favor of Husson. They have looked so dominant in possession.
Oh, ball in. And Speed, that's at the crossbar. And Ella Hosford unable to get on the end of that one. Inches away there, the Eagles were to taking a 2-0 lead into the half. As it stands, Farmington trying to get some attack on there. It's a great tackle in the end by Nault. Was able to stop the attack by Peyton Gagne.
Like you said, Philip, Speed. That header was so close to being a goal.
It was a great ball in. I believe it was from Addie Lasley who put that one in on her right foot. It was just a great ball in, and in the end, again, just fine margins here. This one away by the Eagles, who look to break with Laura Martell. unable to do so. One back by Dwyer. And Weigler can just sit on this one as the threat will come in by Gagne, who gave Weigler a little bit of a push there. It looked to be a little bit of a shoulder. Just the competitiveness between these two teams very evident as the crowds continue to flood in here at Boucher.
I believe we're seeing the men's soccer team coming into attendance as they play their game soon.
Here's Addie Lasley for the Eagles. Here's Laura Martell, who tries to line one up for a shot. In the end, Gagne in the right position, able to get there easily.
Paige Gagne almost bobbled that one again. Luckily, she was able to get a hold on it.
Lindsay Reed called for the foul there. And now, a chance here for the Beavers to try and put something forward here. Taken quickly by Benoit, but one back by Lindsay. Here's Reed again. Trying to play it forward to Addie Lasley. That would be Beal's ball, who's forced to just clear it away here.
One thing about Husson is they love to swing it back to their keeper, Weigler. It's something they've done throughout the course of her collegiate career, and it's just sort of a game plan that Husson has. You know, works out very well. Weigler, very aggressive, ball-playing keeper.
You mentioned it, it's their ability to use all 11 players out on that field. There's the through ball here from Wilbur, trying to find Dunn, but cleared away by Higgins. Playing quickly now are the Beavers. Dunn just anywhere will do for her. 3:45 left in this game, this first half, excuse me. There's Addie Lasley. She'll look to play Gerfen, who's busting a lung, trying to get forward. She'll put one into Addie Lasley, and in the end, it wasn't the best of shots.
Taya Gerfen does such a great job playing that kind of left wingback role, and her speed on that left side is just a game changer for Husson. Listed as a defender on the sheet, but can play some winger too, for sure.
And just the link-up play by the Eagles. Seems like almost every one of their players out there can just make a brilliant pass. Riley Speed having to track back and get the ball here. Ball's put up by Nault. He's unable to find Lasley there.
It is one thing to watch, though, that Nault threw ball to Addie Lasley, as Addie Lasley has lots of speed on at that striker attacking role. And if she has a breakaway, it's more than likely or not she's going to score.
And we've seen that. Of course, the link-up play between her and Gerfen already in this game. Martell wins the header. Hosford trying to win it back. She does. She'll put it wide. Speed can put a ball in, and that one having to be saved.
Another shot on goal by Riley Speed. That one only hits the post.
Now will be Riley Speed to take the throw in for the Eagles. She'll hand it to Higgins. for a long throw in here. We do see it. Reed back to Higgins. She'll put a ball in. It's down by Gerfen. And the shot by Nicholson. Blocked. And then
Husson
put out.
The Husson players, I think, were looking for a handball on that block. Refs did not call it. Again, it's hard to see really where that was hit, where that was blocked, where we're sitting.
Meter put it out for an Eagles corner now. And this one will bounce all the way through. Nicholson will try and track it down. That one will go out of play. Eagles will get the throw. Here's Charles, and now it's out. It will be a Farmington goal kick.
30 seconds left. Farmington's gonna have to push now if they want to try to capitalize for the first half.
Not too much urgency from the keeper. This looks to be the scoreline at the half. We will see. 14 seconds. And she'll just play it up. And that will likely be the last action of the first half. The Eagles will go into the break with a 1-0 advantage on a rebound goal by Devin St. Louis. They could have been maybe 2-0 up, Owen, by, again, Riley, the crossbar denying Riley speed. But what have you liked so far from this Husson attack?
I really liked how they pushed the offense throughout. If we look at the stats here, 7 shots on goal for the Eagles, 0 for Farmington, 5 corners for Husson, 1 corner for Farmington. They have been able to keep possession, dominate offensively. Their passing is good. Their shots, they're taking good shots. They're not bad shots at all. And they could easily be up 2 or 3 goals, but they have looked like the much better team this morning.
And Gabe, what do Farmington have to do to get themselves back into this game? We've seen a strong performance other than the one error by Ganya, but she's been strong in net. But, I mean, Farmington just struggling to really break through that final third and really put a good shot, really test Weigler. That hasn't been the case. What do they have to do to change that?
You know, first they got to clean up some of those small mistakes, like those. They've had some offsides when they've actually had possession of the ball and they've been able to take it into the attacking zone. They just had some offsides which have kind of thrown their game off. And, you know, you got to, like we said earlier, you just got to play more aggressive. And we kind of saw more of that towards the end of that first half, right? So, and if you're Farmington, you got to be happy with, despite your being down 1-0 at the half, you got to be happy that you're only down 1-0, seeing how much possession the Eagles have had so far. So, because it could very, very easily be 2-0, 3-0. So, you just gotta play more aggressive and be more out there, you know, and try to stop Husson from containing this ball in the attack zone.
Well, we will take a break, but when we come back, we'll have the second half here for you from Boucher. It's homecoming. Festivities everywhere as teams playing at home, all the Husson teams playing at home today. And for the Husson Eagles Sports Network, I'm Philip Robarge. Owen Snow, Gabe Shaw, we will see you for the second half. Hello and welcome back to Boucher for the start of this second half in this final conference home game for the Eagles. They started it well, 1 goal to the good for them as they look to remain unbeaten in conference play here at home. Of course, a win today would extend that to 6. And I'm Philip Robarge, joined alongside Owen Snow and Gabe Shaw, the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Guys, what have you seen from this first half that you want to see more of in the second half? We'll start with you, Owen.
Yeah, I think that Husson did a great job to start offensively. They put the pressure on, they set the tone, and they were able to get that goal midway through the first half thanks to Devin St. Louis. And I think Farmington needs to find an answer on defense first. Once you find an answer on defense, you got to push the offense and find some sort of counterattack that you can use as momentum.
And Gabe, what have you seen from the first half, and what do you want to see more of for the Beavers?
Well, I want to see Husson keep applying that same pressure they had in that first half, because all that pressure and they still only had 1 goal. So if you're Husson, you want to keep applying that pressure, and if you're Farmington, you want to,
Speed trying to play a ball across, and that one not able to find Pangburn, but it found Gerfin, who put it over the bar. First real big chance for the Eagles.
Yeah, and as we mentioned previous times in the first half, if you're Farmington, you just got to be aggressive. And I know that sounds super simple, but really that's all it is. They haven't been too pushy, they just haven't had that edge today, and that they need that if they want to win this soccer game.
Donya there trying to push her team more towards the side, try and play more the width of the field, something that they found a little bit hard to do in that first half. Of course, the Eagles just so good defensively. That's part of the reason why. Speed trying to play tar box that time. In the end, it will be an Eagles throw. It's Tarbox who's unable to keep it, and it will be a goal kick.
So like we said, like how the first half started, Husson with all the possession, it's looking like that again. Start this half, and I don't know if Farmington has an answer right now. Again, score is very reasonable, 1-0. It's definitely not over yet.
Again, we've seen teams come in here, trail for the better part of an hour here, and then just they pop up with a goal, and then that last 10, even 5 minutes in the case of the Bates game, just come in here and just turn the tables on the Eagles. Something they certainly want to be watching out for, wouldn't you say, Owen?
Absolutely, yeah. I believe I was on the call for that game, and it was just a big defensive collapse. I think they scored 2 goals in 30 seconds, and it's one of those that it's demoralizing. Husson is going to have to stay strong defensively like they have all day.
Now, clearance that time by Dwyer. Eagles continuing to just threaten here as they are in search of their second goal today. Playing one in is St. Louis finds Pangburn. Leto just let one go, and that one is well wide in the end.
Yeah, and going back to what Owen was saying, it only takes one mistake to make this a completely different game.
We saw that mistake, of course, with Gagne that led to that first goal.
It's crazy that Husson already has 17 shots, and we're not even 5 minutes into the second half.
Nicholson playing Corletto. Eagles, very good one-touch play here. It's done back to Gerfin, who can be set free here. Running up the wing, she'll put a ball in, and Pangburn trying to get there. It'll fall to Speed, and a great save by Gagne, only as far as Pangburn, who put it wide.
Paige Gagne, despite that only mistake that led to a goal, has looked incredible this morning. looking very poised out there, and she's putting the team on her back right now.
That was an incredible opportunity for Pangburn there to put this up 2-0, and just a great defense by Farmington not letting up.
One more goal would see Pangburn reach double digits for the season. As a freshman, remember. She has 9 goals. Here is the throw. And we will have a stoppage here as there's an Eagle down. It's Paige Dunn, a little bit shaken up.
I think she just got the wind knocked out of her. The ball just came up and hit her, and really hope she's okay. Walking up on her own, though. Really good sight to see.
That one caught her up by the eye. She'll go off, but likely she'll come back on. But now Charles will come in her place. It'll be a drop ball. Nicholson can drive. She'll try and play St. Louis. But it was out by Meter. The throw from St. Louis here. Finding Charles, who had a little bit of space. Farmington getting possession back. They look to play long. They do play a long ball there. Won by Dunn. Dunn going out wide. She has Coffin and Peyton Gagne in the middle. The Eagles clear. To play it quickly from the throw in our Farmington. They'll throw it to Speed, who can play St. Louis. She's got options left to right of her with Jackie Pangburn, and she'll play Pangburn here. And this one will in the end be cleared away. This was great defense by Beal. It's still with Speed now.
I was just about to point that out, Philip. Beal able to make the great tackle on Pangburn as she had a dangerous opportunity right in the box. Beal only a freshman too. 10 games started, 900, almost 1,000 minutes.
This one will fall to St. Louis, and it's blocked that time. I believe it was Meter on the block. Either way, it is a corner for the Eagles here. Good chance to see themselves 2-0 up here.
Husson with now 20 shots already.
Ball's in, it's a low ball. That one's all the way through. A little confusion in the box, and they'll call a foul on the Eagles.
Looked like there might have been a shove inside that box right near Gagne, the goalkeeper.
Gerfin and I believe it was Coffin were both jostling for it, and in the end it'll go against Gerfin, but getting the ball in from the Eagles. That one was looking almost destined for the head of Gerfin. Here is Gerfin. Unable to make it through the traffic. That one will go off a Farmington player, and Devin St. Louis will take it quickly, looking for Charles. That one cleared. Only as far as Gerfin, who can hold up play. Here's Corletto. Looking for an opening. Play one to Charles. Over to Gerfin. Husson passing it around here. Looking to swing the play. Here's Weigler. Husson just using every inch of the field as they can. That one's too far over the reach of Higgins. Here's Gagne. unable to get the right touch that she wanted on that ball. And in the end, it's just in the hands of Weigler.
We're going to see Weigler take her time here, something she likes to do on these goal kicks.
And it will be meter to get there. And a jostle between her and Gerfen. Gerfen takes the throw. Flicked on by Tarbox, but fighting for it was Tarbox. In the end, the throw will go for the Eagles. They play it short. Here's Nicholson, who will play a long ball to Gerfen, who's in a lot of space. She can't quite catch up to it, though. He was left alone there on that left wing.
Yeah, she was able to get a good touch on the ball cleanly. She would have been gone.
She does that, too, where she's just able to sneak by her marker without her marker even knowing it that time. Coffin just was not quick to react to her, and again, if that ball, as you mentioned, Owen, if she's able to get a good touch on that ball, I mean, she was gone. Eagles have a free kick to deal with here. Right from the logo. This one by Benoit. And in the end, it was the touch from Meek. Just not strong enough.
Just good defense all around by the Eagles.
Farmington not quick to press. Eagles have time. To Nicholson. She can move forward with it. She will. Try and play St. Louis, who has come back a long way to try and get involved. Here's Gerfen trying to play one to Nicholson, who was running on the overlap, and it will be cleared. Husson will get back possession in the form of a throw-in. Here's Charles, who came in to replace Dunn. Here's Tarbox. She can drive. She'll play one through. That one will reach Charles, who will shoot it first time, and that one's right on to Goya. Anya.
Good job there by the sophomore, Haley Tarbox, able to get around her defender with a couple of nice dribble moves and finding Charles there, open in the slot. Good shot on goal.
So we'll go all the way back to Nault. And Gerfen keeping it in. Farmington applying pressure. It's away by Nault. Trying to feed Pangburn, who has had not much to do since she had that chance that went wide. Now it's cleared by Beal. Olivia Charles winning back possession. Here's Gerfen. Gerfen just bullying her way by. Played over to St. Louis, who trying to play in Tarbox. Charles again first to it. Multiple times now she's won the 50-50 battle in there for the Eagles. Here's Tarbox. And the Eagles just enjoying more and more of the ball. Take everything Farmington will give them. The ball by Wilbur trying to find Dunn. That just has not connected the way they wanted to in this second half.
Just seems like every time Farmington takes possession of the ball. They're not really able to do anything with it. That through ball there, just not able to connect with Emma Dunn, and that's been the story all morning and into the afternoon.
Kendra Donahue looking to warming up, trying to enter in the game. She'll have to wait a bit longer now. Throw in for Farmington. When White plays it long. Charles can play in Pangburn. It's a great ball. And Jackie Pangburn, but what a great stop from Wilbur. Great piece of defense there to deny the freshman the goal side. It'll be a corner. Here is the substitution. Donahue coming on for Nicholson.
Yeah, like you said there, Philip, Hannah Wilbur was the one to defend Jackie Pangburn on that sort of breakaway. Had a great sliding tackle there, probably prevented a goal.
Now they'll have to prevent one from the corner. It'll be Marilla Corletto to take it. Ball's in by Corletto. Trying to find both Gerfen and Pangburn were in there. Couldn't find either of them. Now we will have a goal kick. Still 1-0 here, though there have been plenty of chances in this first half. Gabe, what do you have to do if you're the Eagles? You haven't found the back of the net so far. You've had the chances. Do you change anything, or do you continue in this vein?
I mean, I think at this point you just got to continue what you're doing, right? You know, Farmington still hasn't truly applied some real pressure so far yet, and I like what I'm seeing from Husson so far. And back to Owen's point, you know, I really do feel like Pangburn would have scored there.
And that one blocked St. Louis, who had the chance there. Husson just queuing up in the middle, and that one will be Paige Gagne's ball. Nault is a sliding challenge to try and keep possession for the Eagles, but it maintained Farmington's ball. This one a long ball out to Dunn, but not able to catch up to it. Beavers have come here and just, in the absence of Natalie Tracy and some of their bigger players, come in here and really given Husson a tough task. They've asked one or two questions at times from that defense. They haven't been able to find the finish yet. Will they find it now as the game wears on? This one cleared away by Higgins. And now the turn by Pangburn. In some space, she'll play a through ball to St. Louis. Gerfen making a run to the far post. Pangburn joining the attack. In the end, it will go out of play. Husson have a throw taken quickly. St. Louis. That one ball in. And it's Pangburn on the volley, and it's in! And Jackie Pangburn has her 10th goal of the season. That one just too much for Gagne in the end to handle. Husson go up 2-0 on the Beavers.
And what a goal there by the freshman, Jackie Pangburn, the reigning North Atlantic Conference Player of the Week. It's a great crosser, and she's able to finish on the volley. And she has been one of the star attackers. That was assisted by Riley Speed, by the way, on that cross.
Assisted on the play by number 30, Riley Speed.
It was just a great ball in the end by Speed. able to just get that one across, and again met on the foot of Pangburn, who sees herself double digits on the season.
Yeah, Philip, you know, that's a pretty special goal for her. Not many freshmen can say they have 10 goals, so very, very cool goal.
This is what they brought her in for, though, to score goals. And now Meek the other way. Farmington looking to answer back. Here's Dunn. Defended by Higgins. She'll go by her. But Higgins recovering well. Able to get it out for a corner.
And that's what's so special about the senior defender, Madison Higgins. Her strong IQ and defensive awareness is what makes her such a great player. Plays a center back role, and just great defense there from her.
Coffin to take. A little bit of height there for Farmington. They put the ball in, but it's to Corletto. That one out by Charles. St. Louis running on. Battling for it in there with Benoit. She'll get by one. And it'll be Wilbur too clear. And that goal just coming at almost the perfect time for the Eagles. Had a couple chances that went awry. And Pangburn, who really wanted to be sitting on 9 goals, getting to that 10th, especially in such a game like this, homecoming. All of your families around. You're at home, last home game of the season. That's got to be a good feeling for her.
Yeah, I was just about to say, doing this during the homecoming game, I bet her parents are in attendance today. She is from Edenton, Maine, which is not too far from Bangor, so it's probably about a 15-minute drive. Husson does have a lot of homegrown talent. Again, Madison Higgins being from Herman. That's like a town over from Bangor. Speed from Corinth. So, Reed from Carmel. That's about a 15-minute drive, too.
A lot of local talent for the Eagles.
And, of course, Devin St. Louis from Holden. That's right outside of Bangor, too.
We will see a substitution here. Sadie Pierce coming on for Peyton Gagne. She'll look to inject some pace in that forward position, try and maybe find a goal to get themselves back in this. That is the aim. She's running onto one now, but that'll be Weigler's ball all the way.
Sadie Pierce, freshman, has only started 1 game this year, but has played 11, has 1 goal and 1 assist.
Exactly, somebody off the bench who can just really pose a threat in terms of speed. She's obviously in scoring and assisting this year. She's someone who can produce, and she'll need to be big. But Molly Wilkie knows a player when she sees one, and she's trusting here now to try and get them back into this one. That one out by Nault.
Yeah, you need an offensive spark somewhere, so bringing in a talented freshman, definitely not a bad idea from Coach Wilkie.
Big throw. That one out by Charles. Charles can take it forward. Gerfin sprinting for it on the wing. She'll get it. She's got St. Louis and Pangburn to aim for in the middle. And she'll get by her defender, Beal. And we will see a throw now.
Meter doing a good job at stepping up on Gerfin to allow that throw in.
Donahue trying to play in Pangburn. And it's St. Louis, and it's a great save by Gagne.
Gagne, she had to guess whether to go left or right. She chose to dive right, and it worked out in her benefit. Just a great save. Again, Devin St. Louis could have put up 2, but it will lead to a corner.
Again, as we mentioned in the first half, somebody that Paige Gagne, who gets better and better as the seasons continue for her. Able to get down very well and just read that very well. Here's the ball in. That one headed clear. And it'll be Nault laying it off. The ball in. It's Pangburn. And it's still loose for the Eagles, and now it's cleared. Farmington just getting a reprieve there. We have 3 changes for the Eagles. 1 for the Beavers that are waiting. Laura Martell, Addie Lasley, and Ailey Irons coming in. And now we will see the return for the Beavers of Peyton Gagne, as she will replace Coffin.
13 shots on goal compared to 0 in favor of the Eagles. You're not going to win this game if you don't shoot the ball. But first you got to get there if you're Farmington.
St. Louis. It's by Meter now, playing a ball through. Here's Addie Lasley. Squaring one, trying to find St. Louis, unable to. That ball on the ground was a good one, but just not able to find the intended target. And now Pierce. Coming up the left side. She'll need some support in the middle. And in the end, it will be a goal kick.
Kaylee Nault, great job at maintaining that inside leverage that she has been so good at. If you shield off your winger to the outside, there's no way for them to really get a clean look in.
And she had to shield that because there was really no help for her. Gagne was maybe making a run in, but it wasn't very quick in. So as this one will run all the way through and cleared by Donahue in the end. As the ball was over, I believe, by Dunn. Not able to find Pierce or Gagne there. Throw in for Farmington. Pierce trying to play one in, but nobody there for it. And Donahue will let it run. 2 more substitutions for the Eagles. Lindsay Reed coming on for Marilla Corletto. And Paige Dunn coming on for Haley Tarbox. Dunn, of course, fully recovered from her earlier injury. Now this ball over the top, cleared by the Farmington defense.
Step to the ball. There's too much time.
Now Dunn looking to run onto this one. Emma Dunn. Turning Higgins, and it's Pierce who couldn't finish it. This one still, again, they drive. Ball just bouncing around in there. It's fallen. That one fell to Meter. Farmington just pressing, trying to find their way back into this game. 2 goals behind. Not much time left. 17:35.
And that was kind of the first real threat for Farmington, if you want to call it that. Despite not even getting a shot off, you know, that felt like they could have done something there.
As it stands, the clean sheet remaining intact for Weigler in this defense. Here's Dunn. Through ball, trying to find Irons. That one was cleared. And we will have an injury as Beal is down for Farmington. heard a noise. That would be coming from the Winkin complex. The Eagles, I believe, have just scored a touchdown. As we mentioned, multiple teams, field hockey, football, of course, the 2 soccer programs here, all playing at home for this homecoming weekend, I should say. Beal just getting some treatment. She's back up to her feet now.
Really hope she's okay. Never like to see injuries in sports. It happens, but hoping she's all right.
She is walking off on her own power. Seems to be fine. Not able to continue yet, but possibly we'll see her return. As the game is back on now with a goal kick for Paige Gagne. Here's speed to intercept. That one will be cleared. Eagles throw. Be a long throw. Now Lindsay Reed stumbling over it and be cleared away by Meek. Now here's Addie Lasley. Dunn and Speed battling for it. Farmington will get the possession here. Again, still 2 goals behind. One in the first half, one in the second half. Here's Addie Lasley trying to play a ball across, and it's saved out by Gagne and cleared for a corner. That one just pushed out by Gagne. Only thing that her defender could do was just put it out.
This will be Husson's 9th corner of the match. They've had so many opportunities this game.
We'll see what they can do from it. This one in and looked to be Irons. That one will find the foot of Reed, who puts it wide. Now substitution as Evie Flint will come on. Madison Higgins. Evie Flint, of course, midfielder, but she can play some defense, and she's been called upon by Dennis Mullins to do so. Here's Lasley. Here's Speed. Cleared out by Meter. Donahue, pressure being applied by Pierce, who's had her chances so far, but largely it's been just a defensive domination by the Eagles. Addie Lasley trying to play in. Haley Irons is able to regain possession. Speed to Dunn. Dunn trying to find somebody in the middle there. Unable to find a white shirt. Here comes the Beavers. Here's Dunn looking to switch the play. Flint now having to deal with it. She'll be forced out wide by Dunn. And it will be a goal kick, says the referee. There's 1 or 2 questions asked if that would be a foul or not, but the referee says it was clean, and we will see a goal kick. the game sort of slowing down here. Gabe, chances maybe not coming as both sides would have wanted. Having said that, St. Louis is in, and Gagne having to come out and deal with it.
That was a good decision by Paige Gagne. St. Louis almost had a break, but if Gagne was able to beat the race, she would have had that, and that's exactly what she did.
And what does Farmington have to do here, Gabe, to really break their duck? They haven't scored. It's a goose egg currently for them on the scoreboard. What do they have to do in order to get a goal?
Well, they got to start applying pressure right now, as soon as they can, because they're down by 2. You know, as Owen said, they don't even have a shot on goal, so you're not going to win if you don't shoot the ball. And before they shoot the ball, they need possession of the ball, and they need to stop Husson from taking it into the attack zone. They need to put the pressure on right now if they want to come back and tie this game up.
This one out, cleared by Wilbur. And it will be run on to by Coffin, who's just entered the game for Pierce. A good slide tackle there, timely from Nault, able to deal with the damage.
Excellent play.
Nault's one of those players that just makes very few mistakes. One of the smartest players on this Eagles team.
That one out by Martel. It is too, like you said, Owen, she makes very little mistakes. When she does make a mistake, it largely does not result in anything serious. Very rarely does it even result in a breakaway chance. We did see that in the very early in the first half, but since then, I mean, it's just been all that Eagles defense as we've been accustomed to. They just know how to have each other's backs and defend as a unit. And a big throw here. That one was still with the Farmington possession, and Weigler having to come out for it.
It was a big throw in by Farmington, but ultimately didn't lead to anything huge. Rita Benoit, good try there.
We will have a handball, and it will go back to Farmington. Handball coming on Martel. 10.5 minutes. As it will be in by Benoit. Now Irons laying it down the line for St. Louis to chase, but Wilbur gets there first and clears. And the offside flag comes up on Coffin. It's been the great neutralizer for the Eagles, that offside flag. Any chance, anything that gets by them, normally we do see that flag just come right straight up.
And that's really been like the only mistake Farmington's had today has just been the offsides. Aside from some, defensive mishaps that allowed that led to those goals, and so both teams have had really no mistakes up to this point, and it's just been those offsides for Farmington.
Donahue shielding off Coffin and Gagne. Halt. Play it to Weigler. Husson having to be quick to get it out of their zone. But again, Farmington just not really pressing as they were earlier in this one.
It's almost like they're trying to play a counterattack game, but they haven't really been able to counterattack at all. They're trying to let the Husson offense come towards them, but if they never get possession of the ball, can't counterattack that way.
You have to be quick on the counter. You don't have too much time, so it's got to be 1-2 touch passing when you are in those scenarios. I want to try by St. Louis to find speed. And now we will see the return of Jackie Pangburn for the Eagles, as she will replace Evan St. Louis. And now for the Beavers, we will see Peyton Gagne coming off, in her place Mackenzie Beal.
Husson still continues to amaze us with their beautiful passing skills. Haven't made any big mistakes in that department at all.
Nope, giving away possession to Wilbur, who will just strike one, but that was very optimistic to find the back of the net from there.
Now Weigler's just trying to chew the clock. We are less than 8 minutes from this game being over, so Husson's going to try to chew as much clock as possible. And that suits Weigler's play style very nicely.
This is just about the time when, again, the Eagles have in maybe games previously been caught out to maybe give up a goal here. Vulnerable to give up a goal, but they don't look likely today. Here's Pangburn. Driving down the wing, she'll play in. Addie Lasley. Lasley will put it wide to Speed. Speed will look to try and get a ball back in. She'll cut inside. Here's Reed. Speed now. Takes a touch and puts one in and through. And it's Jackie Pangburn again. Able to put one home to wrap this one up for the Eagles on homecoming weekend.
That's back-to-back goals now. We've seen the Speed to Pangburn connection flourish. And now, with that lead, Husson has pretty much sealed the game. Again, Jackie Pangburn, 2 goals now. Speed with 2 assists. Those two together have been dynamic.
A brace for the freshman. She has matched her number now. She has 11 on the season.
Just when you think Husson's trying to chew clock, they go for a goal. And again, that's what makes Jackie Pangburn so special.
Here's Addie Lasley now. Can it be 4? Addie Lasley just blocked in the end by Mackenzie Beal.
And Beal being down with an injury earlier this half, finally comes back in. Glad she's okay. She makes a great block on Addie Lasley.
And Kaylee Nault will give way for Madison Higgins. Someone who doesn't normally come off for the Eagles is coming off now, and the Riley Speed with the assist on that last one also coming off for Madison Higgins. The ball's in for the corner and cleared away by Dwyer. Eagles just so close there to making it 4. That's the best way to respond, is with another goal. Again, we mentioned just the vulnerability, but certainly not showing it now. Here's Lindsay Reed.
That header from Pangburn almost completed the hat trick. Good save there by Gagne. And this Husson team, even though they're up 3-0, are still playing like it's a tied game, which I like to see from them because they are giving 110% effort all around.
Now here is Pangburn to play it across to Lasley, but in the end it was blocked by Casavant. That one through to Irons. Farmington will get it out of their box and cleared. 5:10 left in this game. The Eagles had 1 goal in the first half, and they've responded well with 2 in the second half. 1 from Devin St. Louis and 2 from Jackie Pangburn, coming off of NAC Player of the Week honors. There's that one to run through to Gagne.
After this weekend's over, she might have a good argument to get back-to-back Player of the Week.
That one a long ball by Gagne. Only as far as the Husson players, though. Here is Dunn, Paige Dunn. just take it to the corner and look to chew the clock down. And Husson will feel that as the clock lessens and lessens that they are right in the driver's seat for an undefeated end to their home campaign here, as Ella Hosford will come on and Jackie Pangburn will come off. So no chance for her to get the hat trick, but she gets 2 on the day for her. Also in the game for the Eagles is Evelyn Haradu.
Getting her first action, freshman out of Denver, Colorado. Only has played 8 games so far, but she's one of those, she can be a pretty solid midfielder as she goes on in her collegiate career at Husson.
That's something that Dennis Mullins will be looking for now. Solid in the midfield, no giveaways. Ball is in, headed on by Martell. And Reed will come out to collect it. She'll play it back to Donahue. And the chance for the moment is gone for the Eagles.
It's going to be interesting, too, for this next recruiting class for Coach Dennis Mullins. You're going to have to replace 2 really solid defenders in Kaylee Nault and Kendra Donahue. And you got to replace the likes of Madison Higgins as well. Those are 3 very good senior defenders. And it's going to be very important for him to figure out how he can recruit in that department.
Well, he had to cope with, again, the 12 players that we mentioned last year, so you certainly would back him to do so again this year.
And again, Weigler, senior as well, but they got the very talented freshman, Gabriella Smith, who played while Weigler was injured, and she played very well in those games that she had, Philip.
Exactly. There was really no fault to her game. And again, somebody who can really just come in and do a job. She'll have to see an increased role in her next season as well. Be interesting to see what she can do with that.
One other big player leaving after this year, Addie Lasley, the speedy forward. Again, you've got Jackie Pangburn, who's played really well. You've got the likes as well with Jillian Long and Paige Dung too. But still, it's going to be that will be a big fill for Dennis Mullins.
The tandem of St. Louis and Addie Lasley has just provided just so much entertainment and so many goals throughout their careers. Again, both departing, as Owen mentioned.
Yeah, and St. Louis with a goal today has really had not just a strong game, but a strong season.
Now here's the corner in, and this one will go over Weigler. Dealing with it is Ella Hosford. Farmington looking to just scrape 1 goal today here. Unable to do so on this attempt. Under 2 minutes now to go in this one. Don't forget, don't go anywhere. We will have the men's game against Farmington. That's scheduled for 1:30. This homecoming weekend is continuing to be underway. Now Reed with the through ball. Looking for Addie Lasley, who's able to make up some kind of ground to get to that one, but in the end it is out of play. She had to travel a long way to get that one.
That's her speed coming into fruition. And just, you can see her go from 0 to 60.
That one will go off a Farmington player, and now Lasley can hold possession in the corner for the Eagles. That would be a throw-in. And again, we're seeing just that tactic here. As we move to under 40 seconds left in the game.
So Husson's going to go up 6-0-1 in the conference to keep their first place lead. And honestly, they're looking like the team to beat right now in the NAC. Won the NAC championship last year. Just dominated that whole tournament all around.
Now the big clear by Donahue. It's a great pass, actually. Maddie Lasley gets by Mackenzie Beal, but decides to just try and take it to the corner. It is cleared, and the clock will hit zeros, and the final whistle goes at Boucher. What a performance we've seen. What a second half we saw for the Eagles, just all over Farmington on the score sheet. 3-0 is your final score here from Boucher. Owen, who's been your player of the game?
It's got to be Jackie Pangburn. Able to start out on the starting 11, able to just create offense in so many ways. Her and Riley Speed, that connection is special. And Pangburn on the volley for her first goal, and then again just able to get in the box for that second one. She's just able to be a pure goal scorer at just being a freshman. That would be who my player of the game would be. 2 goals, just a dominant performance. So, yeah, give credit to Husson, moving to 10-4-1 and 6-0-1 in the conference. They're looking dominant again. During the preseason poll, they were favored to win the NAC, and so they're looking like it right now.
And Gabe, Farmington move 2 more games away from home against Vermont State Johnson and Vermont State Castleton before the NAC quarterfinals begin on the 29th of October. What do they have to do in those games to improve?
Well, I know we've said it all game long, but really, you got to be more aggressive when you have the ball. They didn't end up having any shots today, did they?
1 shot and it got blocked.
Yeah. So they had 1 shot today, and that's all they had. So, like Owen said earlier, you're not going to score if you don't shoot the ball. So they got to play more aggressive in these other games. Maybe play a little more relaxed, because it looked like they were stressing out there, trying to get the ball, trying to make something happen, and just nothing was happening. So in these other games, these are in conference games as well. So these are games that they're going to want to win for these for the quarterfinals, and so they're going to want to drastically improve in these games. And if they want to, they're just going to have to play more aggressive and they want to go out there and they want to play like they want it.
As we mentioned, Farmington move on the season to 8-6-1, 4-3-1 in the conference. They are, of course, away on the 25th to Johnson, ATSU Johnson, and Vermont State Castleton the day after on Sunday, the 26th. For the Eagles, they will move to 10 wins on the year, 6-0-1 in the conference play. They remain undefeated at home here in the conference as they move their last 3 games away to Keene State on the 19th, away to Thomas on the 22nd, and then, of course, big one away to MMA on the 25th. Before NAC playoffs begin, the quarterfinals begin on the 29th, semifinals November 1st, and the final November 8th. Certainly a lot of action in store. 32 minutes before the men play. Don't go anywhere. You're watching this homecoming edition of the Husson Eagles Sports Network. I'm Philip Robarge, Owen Snow, Gabe Shaw. We will see you in the next one.